What are some things I'd like to see in Spyro 4? Let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a brand new Spyro the Dragon video. It has been years and years and years since we've had a brand new adventure with Spyro the Dragon. Excluding the Skylander series, we haven't seen Spyro star behind a brand new game since 2008. So yeah, it's been about 13 years since Spyro had his own adventure. Reignited came out and blew many people away with its atmosphere, graphics, music, you name it, people loved it. It looked like a Pixar movie made into a bloody video game. So now we have been speculating, based off of some stuff, that Spyro 4 is going to be coming in the future. And today I want to share 5 things that I would like to see in Spyro 4. I have, well, more than 5 new things, but these are just some of the ideas that I would like to see implemented into a new game. I actually already made a video talking about how I would rate Spyro 4. The card is in the top right corner. Anyway, let's get into it. Number 5. Dragons. I know, right? Dragons in a Spyro game. How shocking, right? But what I mean specifically is making dragons the main collectible again. Adventuring through colorful and different worlds and finding crystallized dragons was amazing. Of course, Toys for Bob really souped up these dragons by literally making them all have their own personality with their own outfits, colors, voices, you name it. Gone are the days of the copying and pasting of a dragon, changing their color, and then just having them say,
Thank you for releasing me.
Now, I threw out a poll on Twitter and YouTube asking all of you which one of these collectibles from the original trilogy were your favorite, and overwhelmingly, the dragons were pretty unanimous. Now, of course, the developers were still semi-restrained in the Spyro Reignited trilogy. Even though dragons like Thor had more added to his dialogue, they still had to keep to the original games. But imagine brand new dragons who can say or do what they want and have Spyro talk and interact with them a lot more, and just overall have more character to express. Now, according to a GDC talk from Toys for Bob, the developers were thinking about having the dragons actually walk around and be kind of interactive. But there wasn't enough time nor power to be able to do it. The consoles would have probably exploded. So an idea that I had is for the dragons to go back to the home world that they were originally from, and then to be able to talk to them afterwards. And I think that would be really awesome. Also, seeing them generally hanging out with each other would be super cool as well, giving more life to the homeworld. An example of this would be the dragons playing basketball with the sheep in the background in the end of Spyro Reignited. To have a world filled with comedic interactions would make the game that much better and have a lot more life to them. Number 4. Beautiful environments. Spyro Reignited always blew people's minds when a world would open. There were very few levels where I didn't pause and just gawk in awe every time we loaded into a level. The environments are just so well made in Reignited, and I think that it needs to be properly translated into the next game. Having big, bold, and beautiful environments that seem surreal and beyond the realm of imagination of fantasy is where they need to hit. Diverse level themes from fantasy to sci-fi to forests, oceans, mountains, and space. These levels gotta be mind-blowing in their reveal, causing the player to want to explore, not just blitz to the end of the level, get the collectible, and move on, making them want to stop, pause, and just soak it all in. That would be something that would be amazing. Number 3. Stuart Copeland. Stuart Copeland was the original composer for the original 3 games. The original 3 games has a soundtrack that is actually just legendary, beyond. To me, it's one of, if not my most favorite soundtrack of all time, especially Spyro 1. Now, Stuart Copeland did such an awesome job with the original soundtrack that when Spyro Reignited came out, they actually gave you the option to be able to switch between the original soundtrack that was composed by Copeland and the Reignited track. However, the Reignited track was actually given its blessing from Copeland, as Stefan Vankoff did the Reignited soundtrack. Now, Stefan Vankoff did an amazing job, as most tracks are pretty much on par with Copeland's. Now, Stuart Copeland even went as far as to compose a brand new music track for the game, and called it Tiger Train, which is the theme that you hear at the start of Spyro Reignited when sitting at the main menu. Now, what I want is not for Stuart Copeland to necessarily compose the entire fourth game, as Stefan Vankoff did such a great job himself, but for some sort of a collaborative partnership between them to happen. I think having Copeland come back and make new music for the comeback game of the Spyro franchise, while also working with Stefan Vankoff, who also worked with him on the original remaster, would be nothing but a legendary experience. Number 2. Skins. This was something that was introduced in Crash Bandicoot 4 that I think would work perfectly in Spyro 4. Crash 4 had a slew of skins that were references to different levels that Crash explored. Post-apocalyptic wasteland, you got the post-apocalyptic Bandicoots. Going to the Jurassic era, Dino-Coots. Snowy Hilltops, you get the Canadian Coots. Just, missing the Timmy's Double-Double and a sour cream glaze, eh?
What?
Spyro should get the same treatment. Each world and level that he completes, he unlocks a different version of himself, with different colored skins, outfits, etc. We already have a Dark Spyro, Space Spyro, and a Winter Guardian Spyro skin in CTR, so this dragon is familiar with being decked out and changed, but it also would be nice to be able to reference other Spyro games to pay homage to the past that these Spyro games bring to the present. And number 1. Elemental breaths. Want to know something interesting? In a way, there are elements of Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex and Crash Bandicoot 4. The quantum masks were a fantastic idea, but having more masks in the universe doing their own thing wasn't 100% original for the series, as in Wrath of Cortex there were the elemental masks of the universe, except, they were evil. Now, of course, Wrath of Cortex isn't the best Crash Bandicoot game, but Toys for Bob still was able to take a small concept and turn it into something that was vastly better than whatever Wrath of Cortex could come up with. Now, Spyro could do the same thing with grabbing something from Enter the Garbage Bin. Did I say that right? Yeah, that's correct. Where they actually take the idea of elemental breaths and implement them into the game in some way to unlock puzzles and deal with different enemies. But instead of your, basic electric, ice, and, the most useful, bubble, I think more unique abilities like wind, crystal, darkness, etc. would be a lot more interesting. The different breaths can also be used on different stages to unlock and find new secrets, requiring a little bit of backtracking but unlocking more of the level, opening up the depth of gameplay and making the story more interesting. Maybe it could be set up like the quantum masks, where certain breaths can only be used in certain parts of different stages, and maybe Spyro's form could change when he activates it, like maybe his ice form turns him into Ice Guardian Spyro. I made a video about this actually last year, where I predicted that in some way Ice Guardian Spyro could be some sort of a tease towards the theme of the next game. Check it out in the card in the top right corner. But those are 5 things that I'd like to see in the next Spyro game. What do you think? What ideas would you like added to the game? Comment below and let me know.
Thank you so much to all those who not only support the channel, but myself and my family. Because of your contributions, I'm able to do this full time. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider clicking the join button or becoming a Patreon with the link in the description. I also live stream every Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on by and say hi. Again, thank you to everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video and or live stream.